Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good day to wherever you are tuning in from. In today's Facebook Live for the book club, we have a very special guest, someone whom I have been trying to get in touch with her, have her, because there are so many different aspects which I have been wanting to listen to. So we have right now in the studio Dr. Meena Longjam, and let me share a little bit about her before I bring her up in the studio. So Dr. Meena Longjam is an award-winning independent filmmaker and the first woman filmmaker from Manipur to bag national award for her documentary film Autodriver. And I have seen some promos about Autodriver and pictures, and I was really, really inspired about that. Um, and she has done a lot of other things which we are going to learn in today's show. So tune in and let me bring up Meena to our screen. Hey, Meena.
Hello, Iche. A very good morning, Iche Monica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
who's
morning
miles
for me
apart in
and
yeah,
good
yeah,
evening
who's
for
miles
you.
apart in Maryland. Yes, a very good morning to Iche. Yes.
And
How
it's
are you,
raining
Iche?
over here.
Yeah, it's been drizzling here as well, Iche.
Yeah,
Quite a coincidence. Yeah.
cool. So, for our listeners, I already see Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. Good afternoon. You're saying good afternoon to you. Yeah, keep sharing it, in your page, so that we all can have an engaging evening at your end today. So, while we are setting this up, let me just check if it has come up, and I'm going to share it to the other group too. So this is like reality, right? Where I'm supporting the supporting the show by ourselves. Okay, good. So I see that, and let me quickly share this so that we have listeners coming in. All right, cool. Okay, so to start with, I know that I have seen some of your work. Though I haven't seen the movie, I would love to do that. But let's talk about you. If you can introduce a bit about yourself.
Hi, Iche. My name is Meena Longjam, and I live in Lamboy Khong Nang Khong. This is my current address at the moment. We shifted I think around some 20 years ago from Nagamapal to Lamboy Khong Nang Khong, because we used to live in a busy, crowded area called Nagamapal, and my dad felt that we should shift to a place which is which has more environmental prospects and which has more wider spaces for the children. So we are here staying at Lamboy Khong Nang Khong right now, and I have done my schooling in Xavier School till 10, and after that I have done my plus one and plus two in Mem Higher Secondary School as a science. I have taken science. After that, I moved to Chennai. I did. It's really funny, but I did my graduation in microbiology, which would have been very, very relevant right now with COVID-19. So, but I had, because of some reasons, I didn't enjoy my graduation subject that much, so I shifted to mass communication, and that started transcending me so much as a profession, as a person, and with lots of doabilities, I will say. So and I have two lovely kids. Ira, my beautiful daughter, she is turning 13 by August, and my son, who's just turned 8 last this year's Feb, he is Bobby. So both of them are my apples, of my eyes, and they're very loving kids of mine. And right now I have been into many things, actually. Like Iche told me about, like I have very different aspects in my life. Like I have been into films. I have been into, doing some. I have been working in university. Then, sometime in my free time, I also manage a small cafe called 70 Cafe in Imphal.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So there has been lots of multiple aspects in my life, because I like to do lots of things, and somehow it keeps me moving on as a person, and it helps me become what I want to actually. So I mean, it transcends me as a person when I get dwelled into so many areas. So that's about me. And I would also like to give my heartfelt gratitude to my mother, Moirangthem Ibeyaima, who is like, without whom I wouldn't be what I am today. So I've been very much thankful to my mom, and, to make me what I am today. Yeah, Chima. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, which year did you pass out your 10th metric?
I, I, I finished my matriculation in the year 2000. Yeah,
2000. Okay, got it,
yeah,
got it. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, I do want to go and talk about the movie, but before that, like, um, I read that you are a single mom.
Yes.
So, do you mind sharing, your perspective about your life as a single mom, your struggles, or how you have been balancing that?
It's been, I would say quite a tumultuous journey so far. It's been almost 13 years that I've been, living separately. Then, I had to undergo all the kind of legal divorce and everything. Right now, I'm a single mother with two kids. And, my only problem was like, I was, very afraid of not having, the custody of the kids. It was one of the phase where I felt that if I wouldn't have the custody of the children, I wouldn't be having such a sound mind, or such a quite I it would create me lots of discomfort in my life. But due to God's grace or something, I have acquired the children, and I feel that because of that, it keeps me going. Actually, it keeps me going because of that, and I'm really happy. And also maybe because of my academic, like I had been like into so much of academic journey as well. In the sense, I did my masters after that from MCC, Madras Christian College. um, After doing my master, I did this MPhil, and then after MPhil, I did my PhD in Department of Mass Communication in MU. And and it's all because my mother had really inspired me to go on with my career as well, because my
So
mom
you had a lot
said
of
that.
support from your mother.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, from my mother. My mom told me that, education is something, which will, like if you have any problem in your life, or any, difficulties, education is a backbone that's going to support you in your future. So that had helped me a lot in many ways, Ije. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
you feel any, I guess, from the society's perspective, like, did any incident or anything occur that made you look inside and feel like, hey, what am I doing? And because I know in our society there are certain aspects, wherein they might
Yeah,
look,
indeed.
even though we say that, hey, we are like women empowered in Manipur. So just wanted to hear
Mhm.
from your perspective.
Indeed, Iche, like when I had my, early breakup and early separation, I was a, young mother. My son was just 2 months old when I, broke up with my ex-husband. And actually, that time, I would have, surrounded by all these aunts and, relatives, or, the neighbors who used to tell me that maybe, you should have Maitei the higher, you should have, hold on Khangthong the kollaga Khang Bayadra, something like that.
Mm.
Uh, you could have really, retained, like something as if like marriage is something so important than life. So
Hmm.
they were giving me some ill advices, like, why couldn't you hold on to, the coat and just could have just bear the brunt for some time, and other, and it would have been all fine. you know my aunts and some few elders used to say like that. But I felt it was not at all necessary, because I felt that I had the education and I had the dreams to just carry on with my life, and having the kids with me, I felt that I could move on with my life. So this is where I am now after, I mean, so you could see Jay,
Yeah,
after, yeah.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and the reason why I brought this up is I know that within our own society we don't
yeah.
speak about it much, and I want to start opening up as a society that hey, let's talk about such conversation,
Mhm,
right? Because
mhm,
um, and also we have that layer that oh, everything is good, and women of Manipur are uh,
mhm,
great in the sense that like they try to, or we try to cover up certain
mhm.
aspect and portray that women are the forefront without talking about all these issues. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you a little bit for sharing about that. I see
yeah.
a very strong woman in you, and which is why I'm so excited to be here talking to you.
Thank you so much, Jay. I mean, I'm happy that way, Jay. I mean, thank you so much. It's really motivating as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So let's talk about like, you did microbiology, and then you did a lot of series of education and then movies. How did that happen?
Oh, I would say, Jay, like, I have been always, I mean, I have been always experimenting with many things in life. I would like to observe things. I would like to, test things around me. If something, if plan A doesn't work, if plan B should work, and if plan B doesn't work, plan C should work. In a sense, I have been always open to many different kinds of opportunities. So when I did my master's in communication from Madras Christian College, definitely we had film studies, we had script writing workshops, and many areas, even film festivals as well, where I have been open to, just explorative ideas of many possibilities. So I always had this intent to do something for my place, for my people. I want to tell some kind of stories. So I have been always haunted like that. So when I was in Imphal, my husband was in the ex-army, and I used to move around so much in to different places. So but finally when we got shifted to a place in Imphal, I got an opportunity to look closer to people around us. So what happened, like Ichelibi is one of the lady, the auto driver I made film with, and it actually like gratefully it took me places. So I met her as a woman in a crowded marketplace, and suddenly my eyes was kind of following her, and then suddenly I see that there's this stout woman wearing this green khaki military dress like color, and my eyes were just following her, and I felt that it's quite inquisitive, following she's some she looks quite different from the other women. So I was just following, and then suddenly she just she piled onto an auto rickshaw, and she just drove away. And that was like a moment which I felt it was so amazing. Actually, I felt so happy, so content that like women from Manipur, it has always been in the forefront, from the Nupilal days to so many issues. So I felt that this was the only thing lacking in Manipur, like a lack of a woman auto driver in Manipur. She's unbeatable. She's wow. I mean, like, I've seen women in South India and other places driving cab, driving bus, but someone from Manipur is really doing this feat. I think I should follow her. So from there, I started following her bit by bit, and through friends, I started, started contacting her, and asked her if I could do something, on her life, if I could portray this skill of Ichilaibe, on the screen using audiovisual medium, using the documentary medium. So that's how it all started, and it fell into places. But it was not easy, because though it's a documentary of 30 minutes, it took me almost 3.5 years to follow the character and
Oh, wow,
compile
three and a
into a
half
story.
years.
Yes.
Wow. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so when you first saw her, where was that? Like, wh-
It was at Pangai.
Pangai. Oh,
Pangai.
okay. So
Yeah,
it was just like it just happened to you, right? Like you didn't
yeah,
plan
yeah.
anything. It's just that
I
moment
didn't
that
plan.
you.
I would always say, people tell me I'm a filmmaker and everything, but I haven't still, taking time to put that name, consciously into me, because I felt I have been an accidental filmmaker, and I was just doing, a bit about, my passion, and I just bit about, a curious girl, like something she wanted to show something about her community to the world, something like that. It was it, but not, I would say that I'm just an accidental filmmaker, and everything, fell in place, and then yeah, I just followed after that. Yeah,
Yeah. So like it was. You said it is only 30 minutes, but you actually had to follow her and kind of track her
yeah,
life because it's a documentary for 3.5 years, right?
yeah.
Um, so can you share a little glimpse of, during those 3.5 years? I know it's a lot, but pick up certain points which you can share with us, which kind of inspired
um
you, touched you, or the
yeah,
making of the documentary.
yeah, sure, Chen. It was not easy, to get into, like, to just barge into somebody's personal life just like that, and especially when she is earning, like she's a daily wager like that. She's a auto lady driving every day to feed her family. So it was very difficult for me to disturb her all the time, or to bother her all the time, because I need to shoot a film on her. So I did it really patiently, in a sense I took lots of time to connect with her as a friend, as a woman, in the sense, like how we as a woman connect each
Yeah,
other. I mean, like that, something like that happened with me and Ichi Laibi also. I used to hear all her stories. She used to tell me her stories. I used to share her my stories, because that time I was also going through this personal, trouble of separation and all these things. So I used to share so many things to her as well. So slowly, we started becoming friends. And after that, when all this, it happened for good, because when she came on screen in front of the camera, she was not at all camera shy. She just blurted out everything very candidly, and it was perfect for any movie maker. It's a dream for any movie maker. She was so uh, frank, and she was so casual in front of the camera. And I don't know if you have seen the movie Auto. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've watched the film, but
no, I
she,
have not, and that's one of the challenge I wanted to bring up because all this
yeah,
documentary I hear about, I want to see, and
yes,
people are like, "Oh, this, we got this award," and I'm like, "Yeah, I see the picture, but I am picture as in, the
yeah,
poster and
yeah.
some photograph." But and I'm sure many of our listeners out there who are particularly, out somewhere in the world who are very interested in works of Manipur, we don't get to see it. And so tell us about like, how we can have access to the movie.
Exactly. So, actually, the film Autodriver is on the site called Dokube.
Okay.
It's on Dokube. I will send you the link. But
Yeah, if you
also
can,
for,
and I'll
yeah,
share it with the
yeah,
listeners too.
yeah, yeah, and also for anybody who want to watch, my documentaries, I can send a Vimeo link with password.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah, maybe we
that
can
will
have like a private, screening session
yeah,
for
sure.
movie lovers. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, yes, yeah, Jay. Yeah, we
Okay.
can do
So
that.
I want to take a quick moment to share some of the comments coming in. And
Yeah.
again, thank you to everyone for listening to our show. Keep the comments coming in, keep sharing, because we definitely want to talk about, what Meena is doing and learn more. And let's make this session interactive. So Kenny is one of our regular listener. Thank you, Kenny. Uh, First comment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah,
And yay,
yeah,
look, Nikki Chanam is also listening. Meena
yes.
Longjam, hi to your young and naughty fellow.
My two kids. Yes, especially the younger one, Bobby, is very quite naughty. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And Thaudam Yoihanba, been there in 70 mm. The Marilyn Monroe art was splendid. Love it there. Wow, yeah. Oh, I have. This is the first time I'm hearing about your cafe. So next time
Thank you
I'll be
so
sure
much.
to come.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
looks like you have some art, and hopefully some of my artwork could also be
Oh,
presented there.
definitely. Even I have been admiring the Shiroi at the
Yeah,
back
see
of
that?
your, yeah, it's beautiful, Iche. I mean, I have
Yeah,
seen lots of your artwork as well, and it has lots of, Manipuri thing in it, whether it's Shiroi, whether it's Sangai, whether it's the mountain, the hills. It speaks so much about your roots, Iche, and it's just incredible.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
my dream is to have my artwork in every places, because I believe that it has a lot of healing and love, and it comes packed with that, and we can spread that
exactly,
love
Iche.
and healing around.
Very true, Iche. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Superwoman from Mutum Jaya Lalita.
Hi, hi Jaya. I know her. She's another, superwoman only.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Anu,
She's another upcoming girl, doing lots of social work on menstruation and period, and she's like amazing. Yeah,
yes, and we want to have you in our show. We have to have all the superwomen coming up here and sharing our story. We have
yeah.
Anu Sharma also uh,
She
commenting
says super.
super.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah.
Lenin Chanam would love to watch it. Please do share. See, I told you, everybody wants to watch, and we all don't know where to go. So good. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do
Maybe
is,
yeah,
yeah, let's have
maybe after after
like
this
a
live,
stream.
yeah,
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 let's do
after this
that.
live session, I'll definitely share. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
A very,
Okay.
a very good evening to James Soibam as well. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely share the after the live session.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of my film and with the Vimeo link and the password. Yeah, like
Cool.
people can
Cool.
enjoy it during the lockdown. Yeah, I should do
Yeah.
that long.
Let's do
Yeah,
that. That's a good idea. Okay. So
yeah.
Kenny has a question. First question: as a Manipuri filmmaker, how important do you think Manipuri-ness in Manipuri film should be employed, or do you think we should look more into the globally fitable expressions and theme?
Yeah, actually, this question comes to me. As a documentary filmmaker, like right now, I haven't barged into any fictional, films or fictional stories so far. So all my stories are, actually factual and on based on reality. So I'm just portraying life as it is. So it doesn't have any questions of the question of Manipuriness in it, but I'm just portraying and showing the world about our woman, our culture, and what's happening in Manipur. I would also maybe in the further conversation with Iche, I will also talk about Achoubi in love. She's another woman. I have all this lovely woman in my life, Iche. I cannot express here. I mean, she's another super woman in my life. And I also want to share about her called like I have
Yeah.
also recently done a documentary called Achoubi in love. So and the second question is like, do you think we should look more into the globally fitable expression and themes? I think everybody has to have their own idea of expressions. Like it did not we need not follow or copy somebody, but we can create our own. Because I feel Manipur as such, we have so much of creative genes bestowed by our forefathers. Why don't we utilize that and we make our own theme? we don't have to copy the Korean, or we don't have to copy other cultures, but definitely we can bring in something uh, unique from our online, like Pabung Aribam Sham Sharma does all the time with all his beautiful works, documentaries, and film. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Penny, for the question. Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's about creating our content, our story. And I think just to, add to the second question, when we talk about the globally fitted, it's more on how can the global audience consume, right? So if it is there are dialogues in Maithelon or other dialect within Manipur. It's about like transcribing that and having it in a form where other people can consume it. So that's the only thing I see. But the story as
Okay,
is has to stay.
yeah. Yeah, AJ, I feel that, like when you say that music is a universal language,
Yeah,
even, something when you make film, like you must have heard of a woman filmmaker from Assam, Rema Das, who made a beautiful story, who became like, it went on Oscar nomination as well, Village Rock Star and all. So, I mean, people, or any artist who does beautiful works of their own, I mean that has, even you can also recently see how Parasite, Bongjo, whose Parasite have won the Oscar, like it just fetch off all the Oscar trophies this time. So it doesn't mean that one class or one genre has to define the whole idea of movies or something, but I mean, now the films are also open to all the stories, in regard of, whether language, race, caste, anything. Just it has to have stories, which have not been explored, which have not been seen by people. So I mean, stories. I mean, just universal. It doesn't have any language, and if you give the right subtitle, it
yeah,
can go places. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we
yeah,
always look forward to more creative people in Manipur to bring out the story, for the global consumption. So that's where
yeah,
I think it would end.
yeah.
Okay, let's pick up a couple more questions before we go into talking additional movie. Okay, James Soibam, two pride lady at one time. Good evening to both of you and Meena. I would love to watch Autodriver. Never got a chance till date.
Oh, so I'm putting up after this, lovely conversation with Iche. I mean, I'm definitely putting up after this. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
James. Thank you so much. Good evening to you as well. Yeah.
Chingtam Khonba Bijain Lai. Hi, both sister. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
And a big congratulations from Santosh Laisom.
Thank you. Yeah.
And we have Hisnam Jogen Singh. Nice to hear. God bless you.
Yeah, I yesterday I heard Sir Jogain's and Ma'am Monica's conversation, and it was so good. I mean, it was so
Yeah,
good. I mean,
it is
it's so
absolutely
inspiring.
beautiful,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, we need more voices like that. And for the ones who are listening, if you haven't watched that show, do look it up, and you would be really inspired. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I do have some more comments, but let's come back to that uh, after a couple of minutes, and let's talk about your next movie.
it's like Achoubi in Love is
Shall
my
be in love.
recent, yeah, it's a recent documentary which is actually supported by Public Service Broadcasting Trust, PSBT, New Delhi. It is supported by PSBT New Delhi, and this film is, I mean, it's another transcending journey for me, because Achoubi in Love is very, very close to my heart as well. Because whenever, like people here in Manipur, we are very much concerned about, what's happening with the dwindling number of ponies in Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
So, so somehow somewhere we had always wanted to save, or we had always have this intention to save our Manipuri ponies. We always wanted to have this intention to save our Manipuri culture. So when I was reading out a magazine, in the class to the students, I just came across small snippets about this woman called Achoubi, Huidrom Achoubi. Just a small snippets where it was written that Achoubi, a woman in Kairak, who is also known as Sagol Achoubi, is doing death rituals for the pony.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just gave me goosebumps after reading that few lines. Someone like Achoubi is doing a kind of a humanly rituals for the ponies in
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in one of the corner in Manipur, and not very far from Imphal, just 60 kilometers from Imphal, in a place called Kairak, which is little beyond Kakching, and in between Wabagai and Kakching, Kairak. So I started, I was so much, already very motivated after Autodriver did well, around the globe. I was very motivated to take on my next story, take on my next subject. And I felt when I read about Achoubi, I felt that I got it. Like, I have to somehow find this woman out. It's very investigative and very adventurous for me as well. When I try to find each of my subjects. So I went. I drove all alone by myself to Kakching, and I started looking house to house for this woman. And I was like, do you know a woman called Achoubi? She's also sometimes called as Sagol Achoubi. And luckily, I found her actually. She went off somewhere, to a field or something, and I have to wait for another 15-20 minutes for her. And then she came, and then I told her that I'm just an I'm just a normal, I'm just a lady, who's very interested, and heard about Ima's story in a magazine, and I'm very humble to meet you. And I didn't eventually say that I want to make a story on you, but I try to, may have a connection with her. And I kind of, as a, I bought her with, I just, you know, Katpado Icheko. I just
Mm-hmm.
bought, I paid an obeisance to her as a mother. I gave her
Mm-hmm.
100 rupees, and I just paid an obeisance to her for, like for a woman like her who's completely so selflessly looking after so many ponies.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt so emotional and humble that time to be able to meet a woman like that in my lifetime. I was so happy. So I went back happy, and after a few days, I started to look more into the articles about ponies. And, people, how many people have done research on ponies. I started looking. Started investigating on that area, and I struggled to write a synopsis about what kind of stories I should make out of her. So, Achoubi in Love happened, and this story, Achoubi in Love, is all about this woman who is like octogenarian woman who's above 70, and who is looking after around 10-16 ponies in her locality, who will starve herself but who will feed the ponies. And that was so you know humanly for me, because and also she does uh, Sorat Kashole, which is she does, humanly rituals for the ponies. Sorat Shongani, then she will have even Jaiga Taugani Shagolgi. And
Okay.
even she also make horoscope for the ponies.
And these ponies belong to her, or it's that locality?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, Iche Iche Achoubi, Ima Achoubi had ponies. Like she used to had more than 10 ponies, but it started dwindling, and it started decreased to almost two or three actually, because she was not able to look after the ponies really well. But it's also fascinating. Slowly, when I figure out that she was also one of the pioneer to start the women only polo club in Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fascinating. She has got four daughters, and all these four daughters would become international polo players in a team. They make a team actually.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. All right. So,
So
So I know
Yeah,
we have to watch the movie, but so you got first interested, by that news clipping, to hear somebody is doing rituals for, for the horse, and that's what kind of led you to research on her, look out for her, and connect to her. And
yeah,
then it's like a whole world opening, like on the things what she has been doing.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
now,
And yeah.
yeah, tell us more
So
about your initial meeting, then how the whole movie came about and how you got her, to be on the page that, okay, you want to do a documentary.
yeah, then I used to drive to Kakching as if it's just 5 or 10 minutes away. It became my daily routine to just, after my university, after my classes, I'll just drive down to, Kakching and
So
meet
what do you
her.
drive?
Then I drive a car.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes like it's nice because like I learned driving, and it makes me a lot more independent in that way. I don't have to depend on anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So and that became easier for me for the other convenience and as well. And I started meeting Achoubi at her home, and I visited her with my whole film team. I have friends who are very good friends in my life, and they've always supported me throughout. Who had helped me with my earlier film as well. So we used to stay at Achobi's house, to pitch about the film, talk about, analyze about the film. And then I have this all, I don't know, all good peoples around my life who had always helped me. And because people who have good intentions, I think they just are blessed, actually sometimes. Yeah,
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 definitely. And then,
yeah,
with the intent, I do believe that when we set intention in the universe, then the universe will get back to you with all the surprises and, to get what you need. Like, I never knew that today I'll be sitting over here and talking to you, and most likely we may have a future project. So, all this, I believe that is
definitely,
the universe
definitely.
coming
Yeah,
together.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's very true. This even I believe it. This, yeah.
All right.
So
So,
that, yeah.
yeah, so tell us the content about Achoubi in Love, like, because when I saw that poster, I was like, okay, I know it's something to do with pony because of the poster, but I was like, Achoubi in Love, like, I didn't really know like what is it about. So can you share like how did you come up with the name and a little bit on the content of that documentary?
Actually, I kind of work, like we have a small film club in Manipur called Telecine Foundation, TCF. And actually it started, kind of opening avenues and opportunities to lots of film enthusiasts, because every month, every last Saturday of the month, we used to have a documentary or a, film, and we will have a discussion on that film. So even TC Foundation had helped me a lot. The members and my friends, colleagues, and other filmmakers had also helped me a lot in bringing this film up. And there is a mentor. His name is Nirotpal Mazumdar. He is presently the director of MSFTI, Manipur State Film and Television Institute, and he also helped me shape the story. And it was very interesting while we were analyzing the content of the film, because right now, even in I felt even the Yuval Noah Hararis were supposed to talk in the later conversation. So it's very happy because uh, when seemingly human, as such, on the planet, being, because of their superiority or because of being very intelligent, they have been occupying everything, invading everything. They have stamped the environment, they have stamped the climate, everything is owned by the human. So the inferior species, like the animals and other species, they're just inferior to humans. So we were just started talking of human invasiveness to even ponies, right, in Manipur. Like, we have started buildings, concrete offices, jungles of buildings, and, in the name of smart cities, in the names of growth and development. Like, so many things has been happening, but we have not given the right ecosystem, I mean, the right sanctuary for the ponies to live in Manipur. So we have been, talking of the film in such a way that, that ponies have been just left to dwindle in Manipur, but we human have been greedily barging on all the places. So yeah, Jay, I mean, if I have to, tell you all the story, you won't enjoy when you
Yes.
watch the
No, 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 that's
documentary.
good. That's good. So I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
wait for an
yeah.
opportunity to watch that. Okay, cool. So do you have any other projects upcoming lined up? Any, yeah,
Yes.
can you share about that?
Yes, Iche, and my next project, I would say, it's on the Andhro Mandal Mahila Association Football Club. It's called the Amma FC. They are another, stories of ferocious young girls teaming up, and they are aiming for the FIFA Women World Cup.
Yay! That's so cool. Okay, so you have already started the work on that.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes. I have already stock up for past 2 years. I have been stocking up footage from Andro with the football girls, and it's another, very interesting project because uh, even the main character, the Laibi, who is the founder of Amma FC, her story is another, very interesting story. I mean, she was kind of discarded by her own parents because she was the sixth woman child in the family. She was
Mm,
almost discarded by her father, saying, that I don't want another sixth girl child in the family. But one of her aunts saved her, saying that nupi ni, cheng shuraga shu kana gani po, shujaraga shu kana ni.
yeah.
That's, that
Mm,
kind of made me so emotional after hearing her story. But this woman, she is the first um, matriculate from Andhra.
mm.
She is the first matriculate from Andhra. She started this football club called Andhra Mandal Mahila Amma FC Football Club, and she is another kick-ass woman, in that village. Actually,
No,
it's
that's
because
awesome. It's so awesome
yeah,
to hear about,
yeah,
what you're
yeah,
doing. Because I know
because
that sometimes some people say that, oh, Manipur dati nupi ampasana taubi nupi puokanda kem taude kahai se. Now your story
no,
is
no,
showing that
no.
no, we have that, right? Like, I
We
mean,
have
sixth
stories. We
child,
have
and
stories.
yeah, they don't want the child, and now look at her, like, she grew up and is the
Yeah,
first
she fought
matriculate
back.
and educated. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking forward for that project too.
yeah,
All right, so we
yeah.
are at time, so we do have two more sections to cover. I know you did speak a little bit about the gratitude for your mother. So can we spend a little bit of time to talk about your mother and share more, about what she has done in your life, how she has impacted you, and why you chose her to be your nomination for gratitude?
Yeah. Actually, like I even don't have words to say much. Maybe I won't so much like how much I love my mother, but we all know that mothers are just too special to us. It's just special for us, I mean. And my mom had done so much for me. She has undergone so much pain for me, and she has been relentlessly helping me look after my children, nourishing my children, looking after my children, and even my well-being. Everything is looked after by mom. And if she would not have pushed me the way, I used to always feel, we used to always argument in the past that why she has to pressure me so much for doing so many things. But she was my right critic. If she would not have critiqued me that much, I wouldn't be what I am today. I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything like this today. I mean, so she had been such an inspiration for me. See, my mom recently got retirement from statistic and economic department from Lumfield. She's also a graduate in economics, and she is educated woman, but she doesn't have the hang of all this social media and all. But somehow she, she's traditional. She love Sumang Leela. She love Manipuri films. She's clinging on to radio right now after her retirement. So my mom is also full of knowledge, and my mom is like any other normal mom. She'll always, taunt me for not doing things properly, not cleaning up the house, or not, really, looking after the kids properly. She will always taunt me, but in heart she loves me, and I also know that I love her very much. Yeah.
So, do
So
are you guys staying together now, or
yes, yes,
okay?
yes, forever actually.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So, Imabu Thagachari, thank you so much.
yeah,
Even though we stay together and sometimes we take it for granted, it is nice to, sit back and acknowledge a little bit. Okay. So,
yeah.
before we go into the book sharing, um, let's share a couple of pictures. Okay. So, let me share the pictures. Okay, let me see what I can do to make this little big. Okay, let's see. Give me one more try. Okay, I
It's
think,
fine.
yeah, I think let's do this. So let me,
You got it, nature.
okay, and then I'm going to enlarge the pictures. Um, okay, so let's enlarge the picture for the movie, which we spoke about.
Yeah.
So this is Achoubi in Love. I really love the poster,
I,
the
I
concept.
want to, yeah, Ajay, if you allow me, I want to give
Yeah,
the credit to Nongam Sorok, who did this beautiful cover design for me.
yeah, it is.
Nongam's,
It is so
yeah,
beautiful. It's like it
yeah,
makes you sit and pause because you see this, like you have the pony and you see this little pony. People may like, sometimes may not see it in the first
yeah,
glance.
but yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
you
closely
want
look at,
you want to talk a little bit about the poster.
yeah, actually, it was not easy to come up to a poster like this, because it was completely, so difficult to accommodate to a cover like this. So me and the designer Nogam Sorok, he's from Tangapat. So we used to, we had a brainstorming session about what kind of vision I have for the woman of Achoubi, because I felt Achoubi all the time. Even she has names for the ponies. She will name her ponies Manderani, Tanghaibi. Like a
Hmm.
child. Even she has horoscope, in the name of her ponies. So I felt that she's always very motherly to the ponies. So I was like, the picture of Achoubi as such, a normal picture, is taken by Andy Taurangbam. He's another very amazing, junior of me, and he's also a filmmaker, and he now owns a resort in Laimaram. He's enjoying all nature and all. So he has done a normal picture of Achoubi, but I told Noam Shorok he's very creative. He always does this creative switching of heads with his son and his head. They will keep switching, and they does all this graphic designing really creatively. So I told him, if you don't mind, can you switch Achoubi's head with a horse? Because I find Achoubi, Ima Achoubi, actually, as a woman, she was like, where did you put my head? She was, you know she was, at first instant I was very apprehensive to show the cover that your full poster is like this, and I had convinced her, I'm so sorry, Ima, to do like this, but I feel that this poster will give the kind of impact, we want to give to the people.
Yeah, no,
I completely, yeah, I completely take you as the mother of all the ponies in Manipur. And if I portray your picture like this, people are going to connect more, and maybe they will love our pony more. And so I had convinced her like that. And the picture has somehow, it end up like this. And with the, this thing, Achoubi actually was the one who was wearing this, uh, kajeng on the head. So the kind of manipuri thing you have. So I was like, let's put this on the horse, and let's put this as achobe as the horse head.
yeah, no, it's
Something like the
beautiful.
sphinx head, yeah. And everybody have admired this picture, have really admired this cover, and I'm so thankful, of how it all dwells into something like this creatively. And like, I'm so happy how it turned out actually.
Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah,
beautiful. Like you said, like people would just pause and think like, okay, Achoubi in love, it's about the horse, but it makes you think like, what is it about before
yeah,
you actually see it. So yeah, absolutely beautiful.
yes,
Oh, wait,
yes.
wait, wait. So I meant to share one more here. And
Yeah.
this is a poster for the auto driver.
Yeah, and this is even this poster is loved by everybody, because this is also done by another creative graphic designer. He's my classmate Kenny. Yeah, he is the one who does Coke designs. And now he's like, he does all this different paper dolls with ethnic faces,
Hmm.
paper dolls. If you have
Yeah, I have seen
seen,
that.
yeah. So he is another creative person who have done this work for me. And we have also sat on this for almost 3-4 days, thinking how the auto driver look should be. Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
everything has done very meticulously, but I don't know, like somehow I mean, somehow it just turned out so beautiful every
Yeah,
time.
it
Yeah.
is. It is. And, just for our listeners, I think for people who has been putting things out, they know what goes behind the scene. But, just know that when something is being created and put out for the public consumption, there are a lot of thoughts. And, for one thing which is put out, maybe there are 100 and, more than 100 other draft which has been discarded. So, it's a lot of work and
Yeah.
time and, analysis to kind of come up
Yeah.
with, okay, this is what I want to present it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And this is the picture of your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom. Yeah.
Ima
Yeah.
Buthagachuri.
Thank you so much. I will send that regard to my mom.
Okay, so now we will go to the section of
Yeah,
you
Harari's.
know of the book club, and let
Mm.
me get back to my screen. All right, so with that, I'll hand
Yeah,
it over to you to share about the
sure.
book.
Oh, yeah. Actually, maybe I don't have to talk that long on the book, because I don't know how much time we have, Iche. How much time do
Uh,
we have more?
yeah, we are already at 52 minutes, so we don't
Okay.
have much time. But yeah, I do want you to talk about the book and
The book.
how it impacted you mostly, and why you
Yeah.
chose it.
Yeah. Actually, like even me, as a child, as a young child, I've been always fascinated by science, human future, imagination. So when I caught the name Sapiens, even without knowing the author at that time, it just captivated me, because I have always used this word sapiens so many times in my synopsis, so many times in writing some anecdotes. So I got completely caught by this name. And it was more, unexpected than what I had expected from the book. It was completely fascinating. It's like history in a very imaginative and very very interesting way the author have written. anybody from the history background or from the anthropology background, they will just love this book. And also people who love science fiction, they will just completely love this book. And Harari, who is from Israel, who wrote this book in he wrote this book in 2014. Like, it was first published in 2011 in Hebrew language, but later on it got translated into English in 2000, and I think it got translated in 2014 or 15, I think. So he is a professor teaching in Hebrew, University of Jerusalem, and he wrote this book on the history of humankind. And he is right now the most talked about and most popular writer, because this book has been even recommended by Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Barack Obama. I mean, all these big names have recommended this book. So I thought, why not give a try? And I read the books, and I felt, that the book is quite right for a time, like right now, with where we are completely in this hard, difficult times facing COVID-19 and all this. Uh, we talk lots about the bio warfare and so many things. So he had mentioned so much about the futurism of humankind, how human would become superhuman in future, and how human who started with different species 70,000 years back, with so many different species. Actually, it was just not the Homo sapiens as the super as the only non-human, but we had many other species in human. Like, he talked about the Australopithecus, the Neanderthals, the Homo erectus. But it seems Homo sapiens is the one who uh, outsmarted all these species, actually. And he is the one, right now surviving on this planet Earth, who has been, now we have a population of around more than India itself, more than a billion. So I mean, he has talked so much about the human evolution in four different phases. Actually, he had talked about the cognitive revolution of the human. He have talked about the agricultural revolution. He have talked about the unification of humankind, and also he have talked about the future of, like, what if human with all this technological development. He had also talked about possibly human could even become superhuman in future. So all this imaginative, though he's really speculative in writing these books, but it's really fascinating for any young a person or young student who has some temperament for science. I think they will find this book really interesting, because he has related the book a lot with biology, history, and anthropology, and it is really fascinating. Yeah, he made history really interesting. Actually, I never felt history was this interesting, in my school, or in my school days. So he made the history book really interesting. But it is somebody like Steven Spielberg or some filmmaker who has to make a film out of his book.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I need to plug in my wire. Just 1 second.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Okay,
yeah.
so
Just
while Meena is doing that, I'm gonna look for uh
yeah, done. Yes.
yeah, so let's pick up. Yeah, so thank you for sharing about about the book.
So, but
I'll
I have to, yeah, Iche, but I have to still read the next two series of Yuval Noah Harari's, the Homo Deus and the 21st lessons, 21 lessons for 21st century. That's another two fascinating books he have written. So I'm waiting to buy these other two books, actually.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
cool. All right,
yeah,
thank you. Okay,
yeah.
so I have a very long message from Nikki, and let's see how that would fit. And I'm going to read it out. Iche, since you're hearing about 70 for the first time, let me take this opportunity to share that it is a conducive space for art and enthusiasts like me. Been there many times with or without Meena. Whenever I have artists from their places visiting Manipur, I make it a point to take them to 70 and books and coffee. Meena Longjam is doing a wonderful job at the cafe, building a space for art discussion surrounded by miscellaneous food. Wow, what kind of food you have?
Not much, it's just normal Asian food and just she's
Okay.
just exaggerating.
I have
I'm
hosted a
shy now.
poetry. I have hosted a poetry
Yes,
event there sometime in
same.
2018. The coming up of such spaces in Imphal is a welcome movement. I believe this will bring more constructive thoughts, collaboration, and experiment. Kudos to Mina for managing it so creatively. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to host a Thagachari
Yeah,
show.
thank you so much. Yeah, it will be really nice, Iche. I'll be very happy. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Most
So,
welcome, Iche. Yeah.
thank you, Nikki, for sharing those write up.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Kenny says, thank you for sharing your thoughts and stories of your experience. Expecting more from both of you, Iches. I live near 70 and I went there for a
Oh,
screening once, waiting for the
lovely.
screening of your movies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ken- Kenny, you should come up to our show. I would love to hear about the book, what you're reading. So do consider coming up for our book club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Racy Sina says, nice to hear the conversation. Dadu Lystrom, congrats, J. Monica. Oh, so the congratulations should be for Mina.
No, Jay. I'm really humble. Like,
Ankur Jyoti Das, great saying Mina Di and Monica Di. So sweet. With
yeah.
all these lovely
He's with
names.
us now. Yeah.
Okay. Then next we have Michael Puyam. It's really nice to see Chemina and
Yeah.
letting us know more about her thoughts about the documentary. She's one of my relatives and I appreciate her courageous nature. Respect. Yeah, cool. Good comment.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah. He's another person doing really well, more than his job. Yeah.
Yeah. Ankur Jyotidas. Wow.
Hi, Ankur. Thank you so much for watching this. Yeah.
Kenny says talk
Definitely,
about
Kenny.
F. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did, right?
It's yeah, we did. Telecine Foundation. You're welcome to become a member of TCF. Yeah. Definitely. We'll connect to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jiten Oinam, Sister Meena, wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much, Jitin. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bimolata Wangkaimayum, thank you so much for watching. Love to see you watching. Amazing. Wish you all the best, Meena.
Thank you so much. It just made my day, man. I'm just like so happy.
I
Just
know. Look at all this comment.
yeah.
Rajkumari, Ranjana, all the best. Brian Yumnam, good luck for your feature, ma'am. Hari Pyari Naurem, great stories of great women. Love to hear many more. Thanks to Dr. Meena for sharing it. Best wishes. I have watched the movie Autodriver and looking forward to watch
Oh,
the upcoming movie.
thank you so much, Haripriya. Thank you.
Bimal Thongam, creative and also good photographer.
This is about Nongam Sorok. Nongam Sorok not only is a graphic designer, is also a very good photographer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Binota Fanzobam, great. Bimolata Wangkaimayum says, word watching and listening to both of you. Nungsi Benetale. Yeah,
Yam
Nungsi
Harawe.
yeah, Yam Harawi.
Yam-
And, let's meet up over the weekend and
Yes, it is sure.
feature voices which we need to talk about because we as a community need to be connected and talk more about all these awesome things we everyone
Yeah,
has been doing. So yeah, nungsi benathalle. That's so cute.
yeah,
Okay, congratulations coming from Tavala Ningthoja. All right, so we have
yeah,
Dr. Jugindra
yeah.
Sorakagam. Thank you, sir, for watching. Thank you, Monica Ingadam, for showing the pony face, Ima Achoubi, and thank you, Meena, for telling about Nongam Sorok, who is my nephew. Oh my God, look at that small,
Oh,
small world.
oh, well, yes.
I will share this with him, a very motivating discussion between the two of you. I would like to discuss more about climate change with Meena Longjam. I would suggest both of you to listen to Guy McPherson Webb about his thought on At the Edge of Extinction, Only Love Remains. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. So
Yeah,
much.
thank you,
Yeah, that's
sir.
wonderful.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
please be connected with Meena, and I am sure a lot of good things are going to come out of this. And Sir Jugindra, we are also welcoming you. We want to know about the books you are reading, so please do
Yes.
come up to our show and
Yes.
let's talk about it. All right, so we have yeah, a lot of comments, but let's and I know that we are at time, so last
Yeah.
two comments I'll pick it. Yaifare from Usam Nirjit Kumar.
Thank you, Tamuneja. Thank you. Yeah.
And H Singh says, all the best, Madam Meena.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, so with that,
Uh,
I think, yeah, I'll end the comment sharing. But to all our listeners, like, thank you so much for sharing your comment because it is your comment which makes the session so interesting, and we can have discussions online. So keep tuning in back. We will be meeting every weekend, and we'll talk about more persons who have done awesome, amazing work like Meena, and we can celebrate that. So
yeah.
before we end this show, we are at
Mm.
time. Is there anything else you would like to add, Meena?
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to, give my heartfelt, gratitude to Finding the Voices as well. And also to all the frontliners in the world who is fighting COVID-19 right now. And I'm really happy that Finding the Voices was been which been running more than 8 years, almost 8 years now, is doing a wonderful job. Despite being far away from Imphal, but say is connecting like so rootedly with everyone here in Imphal. And I'm so happy how Iche is doing it so gracefully, and I'm so proud of it. And so, God bless you, Iche, and Finding the Voices. Like it has to grow and leap and bound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thank you so
you.
much.
Thank
Iche.
you so
Yeah,
much for your blessing, and to everyone, be safe. It is the time of COVID, but I think everyone will agree that right now my timer is showing it's 67 minutes, but the 67 minutes we spent today together has brought so much of upliftment, smiles, nungsi bana thalle,
yes,
and I feel
exactly.
that yeah, we have to be very alert during this situation, but let's use our time in a more positive way. We can learn new things through books, and there could be other things you can learn like meditation, looking inward, or any other activity which is, I guess, away from social distancing, but you can definitely use the time to upgrade ourselves and learn more. So let's continue doing that, and thank you, Meena, so much for
Yes,
taking your time
thank you
today
so
and
much, Iche.
sharing. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward for your
yeah.
future projects, and
Sure,
definitely
Iche.
we'll work together on some of the common topics. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
everyone for watching, and do consider coming up to our show and sharing the books which you love, and let's share our ideas and thoughts. Bye bye.
yeah. Yeah, bye bye.